Oh my goodness. Bow. Ladies and gentlemen, my apologies to keep you waiting for so long. Let me get my lights right for y'all. Boom. Okay. So for some reason, I am not able to stream from StreamYard. It has been blocking me all day. I've tried every possible thing. So bear with me. We are going to be discussing a very specific leak that came from the Alpha Tango Foxtrot. And to make sure that this vid doesn't get, do me a favor and like it, share it, cast it onto a TV, all that stuff, because this type of information people generally try to keep from people just like you. So we're going to review it together. Thank you. Oh, Kiki Boogan Boy, what's up, brother? Sport Brand, what's cracking? Gerchop. Joseph Duffy, welcome back. Gerchop, everybody make sure you acknowledge Gerchop. We know how sensitive he is. Let me see. What's up, B3 Outdoors? What's up, Chris? We're also going to make sure that, Alex, when you get back in here, let me know as well when you're present. Unfortunately, I am not able to, when I stream from YouTube, I'm not able to have other people jump in, no guests, no screen sharing, no any of the cool stuff that we typically do on StreamYard. So sorry, y'all. No little blue Kim light up there. I know. It's crazy. All right, so a couple things that I want to review. Number one, you guys know, what in the world? You guys know that right now we are facing a very unique situation. Here, I got Alex. Boom. All right, Mr. Bistoso. By the power invested in me by the state of YouTube, I now pronounce you Mod of the Raiders. Of the Lost Ark, of course. Okay, so a couple of things. And by the way, guys, that happened because of a vote on another platform. Okay? It's not something we just throw out to everyone. All right? It's, I shall operate with honor. Absolutely. Give people free speech, allow them to operate with the utmost focus on the freedom of their speech. And remember that they're in my living room. So if they come up in here acting crazy, whoop up, hit them with the fly swatter. You know what I'm saying? What's up, Heathale? So I want you guys to consider some things as we go through this information. Okay, number one, the state of things as they are now, and I'll be speaking carefully, but the AFT or the BAFTA, the Bravo Alpha Tango Foxtrot Echo, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives. A lot of people would say that they are an out of control organization that is encroaching on your God-given rights that are supposed to be protected by the Constitution. And I got to say that I haven't really been feeling that lately. I don't know about you guys, but I'm getting a little up in my feels about that. What's up, Backdoor? What's up, brother? Good to have you back. So constantly, we keep seeing these things pop up. And I'm not just talking about over the last few years. Yes, there are things specifically that we're going to focus on over the last few years, but I am talking about the literal last century when it comes to the encroachment of your God-given rights that are also protected by an amendment that is between the first and the third. And then, of course, our First Amendment to actually discuss it in public forum and talk about it. Recently, as the new what's the word, administration has come in. And we know all this right and left stuff is fake. And okay, I get it, right? There's some reality that comes with it because it's people. But for the most part, this whole right and left thing is fake. It's here to specifically just to bifurcate the country, to split us apart, to remove the possibility of community, and to just keep us fighting. Um, and then there's subcategories within that take everything even further. And Heath knows what's up. He knows who's driving the ship. You know. My apologies. So most recently, when the new administration came in, there was a very super secret meeting that took place. The meeting that took place was with the director, the division director, Alfonso Hughes, and the deputy assistant director, which is I'm sorry, no, not my apologies. That was for the EPS. Um, the super secret meeting was with Director Regina Lombardo and the acting assistant director of the entire AFT, the assistant director Richardson, which is Marvin Richardson, I believe. Yeah, Director Marvin Richardson. He was previously the assistant director when they had this super top secret meeting with the new administration and the whole transition team. They basically sat them down and said, okay, what are the primary focuses for the organization as it stands now? And they said our primary focuses are the two things. Number one is braces. And number two, it was specifically braces that stabilize things. And number two, the frames and receivers, the uncompleted frames and receivers. So here's kind of what it says. And first off, I want to give AmmoLand credit and John Crump, who is a great friend of mine, also a great friend of the channel. All this information is from him and his investigative journalistic efforts. So make sure you go sub to him, John Crump News for news, and John Crump Live to take part in the show. And guys, I'm not looking at chat right now. But here's what it says. Here's the breakdown. The ATF has been targeting stabilizing braces. Shortly after the presidential election, AmmoLand News uncovered a meeting between the AFT and the Biden transition team. During these meetings, the Biden transition team asked the ATF acting director at the time, Regina Lombardo, and acting assistant director, Richardson, which is currently the director, what their top priorities were for the new administration. Other than unfinished frames, which are the 80% receivers, the other item on our list have to be pistol stabilizing braces. The ATF, specifically Richardson, saw these items as a workaround to the NFA, which is the National Firearms Act of 1934, and believed that the pistols equipped with most stabilizing braces should be considered SBRs. So we are complying to your, not even laws, rules and regulations. We're complying to your restrictions. We find a way to comply that still serves owners of these items. And you call it a workaround. You don't call it compliance. Of course not. That'd be crazy. Okay, so backing up a little bit, when these things come out, you can see with 100% certainty that your rights are going to be violated, okay? And likely it would be that they are violated with force, okay? So, let me go back. Sorry, I missed a bunch of chat. He looks like the guy from Breaking Bad. Oh, man. The Pollo Loco dude, the chicken dude. Hell, you had too many choices. AFT means the back of the boat. PWEDCs go in your backside. Coincidence? I think not. Aft. That's true. That's true. Man, I never thought about that. Yeah, Alex. I know what you're saying. So it is clear that the goal here is 100% to encroach on your God-given liberties that are supposed to be protected by the Constitution of the United States of America, right? Well, one thing that came out with this leak, which is terrifying, AMOLand News has learned from a leaked Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives video conference meeting that the agency is looking to double its size over the next 5 years. They are currently sitting at approximately 1,700 armed special agents. Okay? They're at 1,700 armed special agents. So, why in the world would they want to double their size of armed special agents? We're talking over 3,500 armed special agents in an organization that is already way out of control, that is way overstepping boundaries and going into territory that doesn't even have anything to do with the NFA or the GCA, or it's nonsense. So this is, I want you guys to consider this, okay? So this is a governmental organization that has employees on a live video conference, and somebody or somebody's people are so pissed at what is going on that they are staying with the organization and they are filming these video conferences and giving it to sources to report on, to showcase everything that they're doing that is going beyond, overstepping the Constitution. I think it's beautiful. I commend these people. Like, y'all are heroes, even though you work at the ATF. Acting ATF Director Marvin Richardson started the conference call by discussing the number of comments received from the 2 previous comment periods. A lot of you guys, I'm sure you know that when the ATF, comes to bring in a new proposed regulation or restriction, that generally they do so by putting it out for open comment and then adding comments to the Federal Registry, in which people get to go on there and say, I am not in favor for this. Or what a lot of people don't think of for some reason is the fact that people go on and say, I am in favor of this. So according to Richardson, almost 300,000 comments were submitted to the Federal Registry for the unfinished frames and receivers during that comment period. Also, there were over 250,000 comments submitted on the pistol stabilizing braces during that comment period. Now, all of them are not in the favor of freedom, right? And I'm just saying, and keep in mind, I am not saying that the ATF can make a decision on what I choose to do or not. I'm just sharing information, so do with it as you will. Then Sleepy Joe and Child Sniffer and his administration have targeted pistol stabilizing braces and unfinished frames since he came into office. Earlier this year, Biden took executive action on the firearms market. He ordered the AFT, to change the rules surrounding braces and frames by using Chevron deference. I know a lot of you guys are already familiar with that. The ATF submitted proposed regulations for public comment on frames and receivers 4 weeks later. This is right after the meeting with the transition team, and this is all a plan. And why would they need to strengthen an organization with more armed special agents than to execute the plan? Come December and January, when these rulings are made, you know what direction they're going to go in. All of you already know. There's Sorry. The ATF submitted proposed regulations for public comment on frames and receivers 4 weeks later. Shortly after, the ATF published proposed rules for public comment on pistol stabilizing devices, braces. Same thing, one right after another. So anti-gun states and groups have long been trying to outlaw unfinished frames. The Biden administration has pushed the narrative that unfinished frames and receivers are only a tool used by criminals. I would love to see stats on, how many maybe violent shootings or even shootings of the what's it called that you take in Catholic Church? Mass. Um, any of those that actual like 80% receivers, or as they call them, ghost bangers, were used. I'd say it's highly likely that the majority of them were not these ghost units as they're talking about. Similar to the whole thing with suppressors, which is separate, right? Suppressors, or they're technically silencers by the definition, and by the way they're registered. But did you know that they're actually technically firearms? I'm not sure if everyone knows that, but if you look at the criminal conviction rate of firearms with silencers that were used in violent shootings or shootings of the mass variety, the conviction rate is 0.003%. And I forgot exactly what that study was. It may have been the last 20 or 50 years. It may have been from 1934 to now. So my apologies, but it's a little bit of data. I'll cite my source some other time. Sorry. Okay, so going back a little bit, let me see. So Biden calls these kits ghost guns and wants the ATF to regulate them as actual completed firearms. To regulate pieces of plastic or aluminum as complete firearms. I don't know about you guys, but if you've ever had to, or if you've ever gotten the chance to, gotten the chance to build from an 80% receiver, this is not something that you just whip together like this. The challenge becomes that the ATF says that you only or they will consider things readily convertible. They could be done in 8 hours in a machine shop. Do you have any idea what I could do with 8 hours in a full machine shop? Dude, I could crank out 8 machine guns in 8 hours in a full machine shop. Like, that's a joke. Come on. Sorry. So they want to treat pieces of polymer and aluminum as if they are completed firearms. The ATF has also carried out several high-profile raids, to makers of unfinished frames, including companies like Polymer 80. Now, here's the beautiful part, guys. So when the ATF comes and they say, dang it, Polymer 80, you're going to give us all this client's information, and every single person that ordered one of these, you're going to give us their information. And Polymer 80 says, no. You know what happens? In that brief moment where it may seem like there's freedom there, and it may seem like, just like a company is like, you know what? F off. We're not going to do it. We're actually burning all of our computers right now. In that moment, they just go to stamps.com and authorize.net. And if you guys want to guess what happens when they go to stamps.com and authorize.net? They say, oh, yeah, here you go. And they give them the info like that. Dude. And I get it. You're just a company. You just mail stuff. You just process credit cards. But you don't understand that you are fueling the war on Americans' rights given to them by their creator. Oh, man. See, what's up next is 0% receivers. That's what's going to be restricted. What's up next? Slides, barrels, fire control groups, trigger housings, bolts, bolt carrier groups, triggers, hammers, pins, all they would, by what they're doing, all of those would have to be serialized. And you would have to go to an FFL and do a Form 4473 for every single piece. Now, I'm not saying that that's definitely the direction that they're going to go, right? But they could, right? And what better way to do it with more than 3,500 armed special agents? You can enforce some shit like that. Okay, so getting back to it. Sorry, y'all. So, stamps.com and authorize.net also turned over Polymer 80's customer information to the AFT. Great job, guys. Make sure every chance that you get, go on Yelp. Sorry, I can't say that. If one were to give a company feedback based on their, overall thoughts and view of a particular company, and you were to go on, say, Google Plus, whatever it is, or Facebook or Yelp or any possible place that one could leave some feedback to a company, and just say, "You hate freedom," hashtag PWEDC. Or, "You're a snitch," hashtag you sold out P80. Sorry, I'm sensitive tonight. Okay, so it says the AFT has also been targeting pistol stabilizing braces. This is one piece we already hit, but we'll just go through it. Shortly after the presidential election, AMOLAN News uncovered a meeting between the AFT and the Biden transition team. During these meetings, the Biden transition team asked the ATF acting director Regina Lombardo and acting assistant director Dick Richardson, I'm just going to call him Dick, what their top priorities were for the new administration. And his actual name is Marvin. Let me call him Dick Richardson. Dick Dickerson. Okay. During these meetings, okay, other than unfinished frames, the other item on the list has to be pistol stabilizing braces. The ATF, specifically Richardson, saw these items as a workaround to the National Firearms Act of 1934, the NFA. As a lot of you guys know, the NFA controls restricted items like machine guns, like suppressors, like short-barreled rifles, short-barreled shotguns, and AOWs. AOWs are a category that means any other weapon, which means literally, quite literally, any other weapon they want that they think looks scary enough for you to have to pay an additional transfer tax, and wait anywhere from 4 to 6 to 9 to 12 months for, or more. I've waited 13 months for a stamp before, but hey, what can I say? I'm a bootlicker. I have tax stamps. So the ATF is creating two teams to deal with the massive number of public comments, enforcement programs and services, EPS, because we love acronyms. So EPS, Division Director Alfonso Hughes and Deputy Assistant Director Andy Graham are going to run those two teams. It doesn't specify who's going to run which one and how many people are in it, when they're going to start, and when they're going to. But I would guess this, that by December, that we are going to get a final breakdown of what's going to happen with frames and receivers. It is likely not going to be in our favor, unless them pushing this off is part of a plan to just strip it from you later. It could be. We'll see. If it does not go through in December, it's not because freedom won. It's because it's part of their plan. Come January, because there'll be that little bit of a lag between the two, they will come to a conclusion on pistol stabilizing braces. And I would guess that it would not be in our favor as well. Now, everybody's got a line, right? And they draw that line in the sand based on where they choose to comply or not. And you may know somebody that has a line that says braces and privately manufactured firearms are the line. They are the line that they would risk everything for. Everything. Everything. Moving along. Excuse me. Each man will run a team to sort through the submitted comments. Richardson did not give a timeline for the teams to review all the submitted comments. Again, they've basically already said that December and January, they're going to come with a ruling. Richardson also talked about the ATF's plan to double in size over the next 5 years under the new administration. The ATF plans to expand to around 2,500 special agents. So I don't know how that's possible because so they're currently at 1,700. That's probably a typo. They're currently at 1,700 armed agents, and they plan to double in size. So that would be 3,400 agents, armed special agents. This amount would put the number of agents at a higher level than even the IRS, with a total of currently 2,000 special agents. An expansion of the ATF is concerning to those in this world. Gun rights advocates see the ATF as an outright out-of-control agency. Richardson didn't expand on how the agency plans to pay for the proposed new ATF employees, but it is known that Biden wants to see the ATF's power greatly expanded. I could guess how they plan on paying for this. I'm just going to go out on a limb and say that they are going to take slave coins from your income and pay towards this. But really, we're just talking about like some digits on a computer. You know, they're not worried about that. It's no big deal. No double XL. No specific plans for the agency expansion were given to the agency's employees in attendance. So that means that they didn't go into further detail with the employees that were actually like in that video conference. But I would bet that they had additional conversations about this, like amongst leadership and others. Besides the 5-year time frame, Richardson did not give a rate of growth that the agency is expecting. So that was a good read. Here's what I think. I think that no matter what, no matter the comments, no matter like all that shit doesn't matter. I didn't go post comments on the Federal Registry, right? And you know, if you did, then that's what's up. Like that's good for you. You know, I'm not going to tell you what to do and what not to do. You know, that is up to an individual. If you feel that that is effective, then feel free to do it. I support that. If you feel like you refuse to ask permission for your rights, I support that too. And you know, I just don't believe in the whole shaming thing, right? Like, you know, why shame others for trying to take peaceful action? That's cool. I support that. Looking at the big picture, if I was so part of what I used to do is I would do this thing and I'd call it guerrilla warfare. I would take when I ran a company, I would take the 5 top companies around me and I would look at a number of things. I would look at their cost, their value proposition, specifically what they offer, you know, their reputation, their, you know, culture, their environment, their everything. And I literally document all of it. And then I would take all 5 and I'd lay it out like if you were, you know, building a guerrilla warfare like tactics. And once I had all 5 broken down, exactly what their costs are, what their value proposition is, you know, what their you know, uh, um, like organizational chart, like their breakdown, their like I'd get as much information as I can with their culture and environment, their events, their everything. I would take it and I would look at them and say strategically, what could I do to become that or beat that, and then just take down number five. And then look at number four and say, okay, what can I do to become that or beat that or exceed that? And then take down number four. And then look at number three. And then look at number two. And then look at number one. And that's how I brought in a business to become number one in a marketplace, because of strategy. It is a game. It is a long game where you're literally just moving pieces from here to here to here. It seems to me that if a considerable amount of planning went into this, that the plays that are being made here are to, throw out these things with, frames and receivers and parts and all that stuff, and then braces, and then they'll start regulating, just barrels themselves that are less than 16 and a half inches, and shotgun barrels that are less than 18 and a half inches, and so on and so on and so on, right? And they can get it as small as they want, or as detailed as they want, as finite as they want. And I can't tell if they think they're operating with a nuke or a scalpel, right? Like making like very precise incisions. But I could follow this. I could follow that they're throwing out these issues with the pistol stabilizing braces and with the frames and receivers, and what that would mean for individuals that build, what that would mean for, you know, um, people that have what they consider to be a workaround of the NFA, with, short barreled rifles and equipment very similar to what some of those special agents would have. And then they say, well, we are going to enforce it. This is just theoretically, okay? We are going to enforce it. So then, what is the best way to enforce it? Well, I think the best way to enforce it is by the muzzle of a gun. Okay, well, then how do we increase our manpower? Well, if we doubled the size of our agency, then that would give us enough manpower to at least, do X, Y, and Z. It's just tactics. It's guerrilla warfare tactics, and they're recruiting to an organization that now isn't just like gun guys that are, you know, basically moderating. So to make sure, like, hey, whoa, you can't do that. You got to do it this way. Or you can do that, but you have to do it through this route. Or like those days are over. This this is now like the people that are joining organizations like this are activists. They are zealots. They are completely against your right of self-preservation. And not only that, they're terrified of you. They are terrified of the military-aged male that is armed, that is prepared to say no. And though I would not give anyone advice, I would never, ever give anyone advice on anything like this. But I will say that mass noncompliance, mass peaceful noncompliance is the best way to make laws, rules, regulations, and restrictions completely useless. To bring it to the point where you would have to waste so many resources, so much time, energy, and resources that it wouldn't even be worth it. That's all I'm saying, y'all. So, with all this said, I do think that essentially they're possibly in the future going to declare war on that individual that I mentioned. And that individual that I mentioned is the military age male. The military age male that is armed. The military age male that is armed, that is willing to rebel. And if you also happen to be, Caucasian and heterosexual, then you're even more. I mean, you're already there. You are like, I mean, I guess we can't say the T word because people that fall into that category aren't the T word, because if we were the T word, then they'd be dropping off 240 Bravos and M16s with nods and Pec 15s and, machine guns and rocket launchers and body armor and helicopters. They would just be like leaving it like in our cul-de-sacs. A wise man once said, "Give me liberty or give me death. For both options, grant liberty." Yeah. Yeah, I don't mean to get all dark and stuff, y'all. Dark. You know what I mean. My intention is not to be all dreary, and my intention is to just bring reality. Okay. Imagine, because a lot of times when I look at things like this, even when I looked at business, I look at it like, how would drug dealers look at this, or how would a street gang look at this? And imagine if your opposition said that they were going to enforce certain and that they were going to recruit and double in size, what would you do? What would you do? What options do you have? I mean, in my mind, the only option that side would have would be to organize, become as organized as possible, and create an armory that is very specific, that yeah, um, so I would never, ever, ever make any type of call to action. I would never recommend that anyone do anything crazy. As a matter of fact, quite the opposite. I told you guys, and I was very, very specific, that the best thing, in my opinion, not telling anyone to do anything, in my opinion, the best thing to do is to have peaceful noncompliance. Peaceful noncompliance. The most effective way to prove that, because this isn't even legislation, y'all. They're just like the force reset trigger, right? Just exactly what they're doing with the force reset trigger. They say they're using like former legislation for this. What they're doing is they're taking something that is completely legal, that is by definition and function a semi-automatic trigger, and then they're saying, yes, that's a machine gun, so now it goes in this category. Now that category is, under USC 18 USC, or I think it's 18 USC, maybe 16 USC. But no matter what, the legislation already exists for machine guns. So just move this thing that we don't like, whoop, into that category. And we write a letter and a little, skiddly doo, and then boom, there you go. You got yourself a machine gun. Like, what? And then people are like, yeah, but they didn't even get an ATF approval letter. For what? For a semi-automatic trigger? What I would love to see other companies like, let's just say CMMG and Spikes and Geisley, and I would love to see all of their ATF approval letters for their semi-automatic triggers. It just doesn't happen. The reason this is happening is because for some reason they want to take down this company, and they want to start taking down things that simulate full auto fire. So we're taking things away so you can't build guns. We're taking things away so that you can't have pistols that are stabilized, they're saying that they're more concealable. And even though is it too big they're dangerous, too small they're dangerous, I don't know, I'm getting confused. Even though the lethality of a 16.5-inch barrel or a 20-inch barrel is well beyond the capacity, like the abilities of my like 10.3-inch barrel or 10.5-inch barrel or 7.5-inch barrel or whatever. It's just the concealability, right? So I guess they're more dangerous and more lethal. They're saying they're taking um, pistol stabilizing braces. They're taking frames and receivers, your ability to build firearms yourself for self-preservation, something that has been legal since the inception of this country, since this republic was created. It has not only been legal, but expected of an individual. It is your responsibility to know how to and to be able to build a firearm that is equivalent to military service for the purpose of a militia, because you are the militia. So they're taking those things from you, and then they say, we're taking any um, any trigger enhancer, anything that enhances the rate of fire. Um, we're going to take all these things from you. We want to take suppressors, but they're kind of covered under the Second Amendment because they're legally firearms, and we want to take all this stuff from you, and we want to double in size and have almost 3,500 armed special agents. What does that sound like? Somebody tell me I'm not crazy. I need to take a break. Somebody tell me I'm not crazy. Yeah, I know. They'll never be able to, though. It's impossible. I don't know if you guys saw, we had Firearms Unknown on, the guy that does all those ATF cartoons, and that was a blast. He's awesome. Um, and he just put out a video recently, and it's a book, beautiful book, extremely well written. And in the book, so the book is titled something along the lines of like the best way to outlaw guns, 100%, outlaw all guns 100%, like forever, the definitive argument, I think it's called. And you open it up and it has the title page, and then you open it up to page 1 and it says you can't, because 3D printing exists and hardware stores exist. And he's like, I can literally make a pipe shoddy in 15 minutes with $10. You can't do it. You cannot stop it. Just look at, we're going to have Print, Shoot, Repeat and Cody Wilson come on here likely in November. What do they say? What's the Are We Cool Yet? And Print, Shoot, Repeat and um, what's the other one? Bulligan Shooting Sports and all these people. You can't stop the signal. Yeah, I don't even need $10. I know, for real. Like, honestly, I'm gonna get really creative. You don't even need a piece. But again, this is a different kind of stream. We're just talking about information, y'all. I'm sorry. Speak softly, but have some Bert Kit. Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I see what's happening, and I see, if you see that there's even like a possibility of your opposition, and I'm not saying that, like, I'm not anti-law enforcement. I know a lot of people like that are in this type of community are. I am not anti-law enforcement at all. um, I am not anti-law enforcement, but I am completely against the removal, the borrowing, the encroachment on anyone's natural rights for self-preservation and their rights. Here we go. People are going to start giving me ish for not hating police. For their ability for self-preservation, but also the pursuit of happiness. Like what happened? What happened? Yeah. Sounds like a paraforce with borders. Yeah, you know what? It sounds like a para nuts under this dirt. Got your ass. Got him. I know, and I'm torn. Yeah, here's the thing though, and I've had this conversation with people that are, complete, like 100% against any type of badge, period. And I asked them, I say, okay, so you want to completely eliminate law enforcement from the United States, okay? You want to defund them, you want to dismantle them, you want to remove them completely. Okay, so what does that look like? Like, let's develop that a little bit, okay? Tell me what would happen. Well, people would just operate with moral, you know, most people would be operating with morals. Okay, what about those that don't? Well, they would not, and they'd be the bad guys, and they would be dealt with by the moral ones. Okay, so you're telling me that there are people that are enforcing things. Okay, so would they be considered police, or would they just be considered the community? Well, no, they wouldn't be like police, but something would have to be formed. Okay, what would be formed? Some type of like grassroots, like local, like enforcement, like a group that can enforce. Okay, so there'd be a group of people that are likely armed that are enforcing community guidelines and rules and regulations and whatever against the people of the community. What would you call that? Well, it would be like private police. Okay. So you're telling me that you would like to remove the police completely, get them out of the country completely, and then you'd like to revert to a group of people that are not funded, that are not held to certain guidelines or standards or metrics at all, that are hopefully operating from a moral place, that are given the right to police your community. You're trading police for police. Like there's no difference. There has to be some type of you know something there. And if it's not there, if you take it, if you move it, if you call it something else, guess what? It's still the same shit. It still lives there. Yeah. So anyway, I think that's my dissertation. Well, guys, I appreciate this. I know I came back on rather late, and my apologies for that. I do think it's important to discuss kind of what's in front of us here. And the takeaways here are that we are likely to get a ruling that we don't agree with for frames and receivers. We're likely to get a ruling that we don't agree with for pistol braces. And we are likely to see the ATF double in size with armed special agents over the next 5 years. So Whatever that means to you, take that information and chew on it, share it, talk to others about it, and see how they feel. Because if I see somebody recruiting, growing in size, loading up on gear, training, and they're trying to enforce new things against dangerous people, because some would say that a military-age male that is armed, that is likely to rebel, that has a line drawn somewhere, some mysterious line that nobody knows what it may be, that some may say that individual could be dangerous, right? Um, but again, I always go back to what I say every time I end a stream. And I say this every time because I genuinely care about you guys. I do. I always say, follow rule number one. Rule number one is always be kind. Always be kind. Be a good person, right? Live a life of compassion. Give back to others. Contribute to others. Contribute to those within your community. It is so important to contribute to others. And then, of course, a hand that's open to give is open to receive. And when you bless others, you'll be blessed in return. So I say all these things with the caveat that it is also your responsibility to practice, I'm going to say it differently, to become very skilled in violence, and to do so in a very disciplined way in which you would only ever use it for self-preservation. And it's also your responsibility to become the most dangerous motherfucker that you possibly could be. Hands down. It's your job. And by the looks of things, it may be our only job soon. So, on that dreary note, what else would you guys like to discuss? What's up, Techno? So Techno says, oh, hold on. Techno says, I'll say it again. California is going a direction that will follow to a state near you. Doxing is the next attack right now. Your personal info will be leaked to those who hate us. Be good or be good at it. PWDC? Okay. Yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm definitely, I can't on this type of platform with the way that we're streaming, but let's just say I've thought of some other things for the GK47. Um, that's it, guys. I just wanted to share that with you guys. It's important that we all know what's going on. And if you see a storm brewing on the horizon, grab a poncho. And actually, quite literally, grab a poncho. Because a poncho is something that you can wear almost all year round. And you could sling up something pretty big underneath of that. And you could be rolling around with something in your hands, you know. Me and another viewer were talking about that, the value of a good poncho. Yeah, we are there, guys. And this is only a tiny little piece of everything that's happened. I mean, look at everything in front of you. The pieces are falling into place, whether it's on accident or on purpose. We are headed in the direction that, yeah, I love y'all. Thank you all for coming on. I'm just going to do a quick little shout out. Number one, JSD Supply, friend of the channel, huge defender of freedom. Man, JSD Supply is out there not only fighting the good fight, but literally stroking checks. Like he just stroked a $5,000 check to the GOA. And some would say that the GOA is one of the groups that truly fights for our rights. And also sub to Crump. I mean, Crump has given us so much great information. So check out John Crump News and John Crump Live, two different channels. But back to JSD Firearms, you can use code DARK, save money, get free shipping. You can also, right now, get a subcompact lower for an 80% GLOCK for $79. And then when you type in code DARK, you get it for $69 shipped. No shipping, free shipping. Slides for like $129. Just incredible stuff that is super high quality, that is all machine in America. And I just did, I got 2 builds, and I actually got to go through the builds with you guys. It's really not cool of me to, do these builds on my own without showing you guys. So I'll showcase those. Almost every single video that I've been putting out is getting hit with the yellow $sign. So it is seeming to be intentional because we're putting out innocent videos that see, and this one is still good. I don't get it. There's no rhyme or reason to what they're doing, but they're making it as difficult as possible to receive this information, which is just crazy. But I signed up for it. This is Shoutout. So what can I say? And I love getting emails from y'all where you guys are sending me like, just pick this up, just built this, I'm doing a build and I'm having problems doing X, Y, and Z. How do I get past this? And then finally seeing like pictures of the completed unit. Like that is so fulfilling to see that someone who never would have built anything, that's like, I have never built anything. Boom, I pick this up, I put it together. Like that. I love that. That is the purpose of the whole Building Freedom episodes that we did, to teach people like that they could very, very simply and easily, and for not much money, sometimes less than what you would pay for an actual factory unit, be able to build freedom. And JST Supply is a great place to go for that. Use code DARK, save money. Black Swan Tactical. Our patches are available on Black Swan Tactical. I'm told that there are not a lot left. So these are the only ones that will ever exist ever. We may do a PWEDC patch, but the way they do it is they only do one content creator a month, and they're booked like till like next October. So it may be just an extra one Zach does on the side or whatever. I'm not sure what that's going to look like, but Dilders Unite. And of course, with something like this, we have, of course, the glow in the dark. Ooh. Super dope. And actually, technically, it is October the 1st right now, so we are going to be Bob the Dilder. That's good. That's good. We are going to be switching our store over. You may have a little bit of time before we switch everything up, but the September store is going to be closed. So the Glowies shirt, the Kimlight pullover hoodie, the Glowies with the Kimlight camo hat and black hat, the Glowies pillow, and the semi-auto key card shirt are going to be gone, and they'll never come back. I will mention this again, that somebody actually had a great idea, because the October store is going to be lit, like super lit. Like the stuff that you guys are going to see are going to like blow your mind. The October store is going to be nuts. Lots of things that we commonly talk about. And I want so badly to say it, but I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it. The October store will be launched soon, which means the items from September will be gone forever. But somebody mentioned to me, they said, hey, what if you keep those items available, but only for channel members? I was like, I could dig that, but I don't want to go against what I said. And I said that they would never be available again. So I kind of have a little bit of a conflict with that. Integrity is doing what you said you would do, mostly. So, y'all let me know your thoughts on that. And lastly, I think that's it. Go sub to Dirk McGirt's channel. He's got a channel where he just blows snakes away. Like, it's pretty crazy. So go Dirk McGirt, DIRT, separate word, MCGURT, and sub to his channel. Sub to Swamp Dog. We were just on his stream last night. And who else? Oh, Shooting Gallery New England. Shooting Gallery NE. He's almost to 1,000. YouTube is kind of messing with him a little bit, so I want to do what we can to support him, and just any of the friends of the channel. And although I'm not like paid anything, I'm not like being given anything. Like I don't get checks from JSD. I will tell you guys, please support JSD Supply. They are a great company and they deserve it. Like I've been building for years now. I am only buying stuff through them now. Like everything about their company, their model is perfect. They have the best prices for the best quality stuff that is all made in America. Like what? And I can get a subcompact, the Glock 26 frame for $69 shipped. Bro, I'm actually about to go get that now. Yeah, and sub to Bacon's channel as well. Yeah, any of you guys, if you got a channel and you want to, get it out there and share the information, let me know. I would love to. Now, one last thing. I did make a locals community. Now, I have not done anything with it yet, but I am tempted to start kind of shifting off to a different platform because I don't think that this is giving us the um, I don't know, like the level of awareness that we should have. I think it's a long story. So that's something that I've been kind of thinking about. Do I actually like fire it up and get it working? Do I, everyone's trying to push me to Patreon, but I'm not really feeling that. I could see myself going in a different direction. I mean, I'll always keep the YouTube until they kick me, and one day they will. Um, but I don't know. Maybe getting a different community with a little less rules, like one where I could live stream, like shooting. Like I could literally go to the range, start shooting, and do a live stream. Like, how dope would that be if we could like shoot together? Um, yeah. So all that just to make sure we say support the people that support us. JST Supply, Black Swan Tactical, and if y'all could go to glowie'spx.bigcartel.com. Toxic Patch Co. You can use code DARK with all of those except the Glowies PX because all those prices are super cheap for what the items are. They are the highest quality like that you can get, like the Gildan shirts and Champion hoodies, and the shipping is already in those prices. So yeah, that's it. That's all I got for you guys, man. Make sure you stay safe. Make sure you stay dangerous. It is your job. It is your responsibility. And I just want to say thank you for the community. You guys are incredible. I just could not even imagine ever having a community any different. this group of degenerates that are just like so powerful beyond anything I could have ever asked for. And then we'll also talk about our community builds we're going to do, which we got to do the K, the 47. But that's it. Hey guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. Share with your friends, cast onto a TV, and hit the thumbs up and the thumbs up and the thumbs down. Shoot the thumbs up in the face, please, because that will help us with Al Gore's rhythm. And if you do shoot the thumbs up in the face, make sure that you say "pow" when you do it. So when you do it, because you got to close out of the live chat and you got to go, and just make sure you go "pow" when you do it. I think maybe I can. If I'm logged into my other one, I could probably do the POW with y'all. Let's see. See if I can do the POW. POW. You got to do the POW, though. You can't, just click it. I mean, when you click it, you got to go POW when you do it. Oh, hold on. POW. Oh, yeah. There he is. POW. Look at that. Just got to 30. All right, cool. Just know that it helps more than you guys could ever imagine. And sharing it, even if you share it to yourself. I love y'all. Thank you for everything. I will hop in VC for a short period of time. I'm out. Peace. Thank you guys. Love y'all. Oh, is it a POW or a click? When you click it, you have to say POW. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like a failure drill, but with only one shot. POW. POW, POW, POW. But don't hit it multiple times. Because if you double tap it, POW, POW, it'll go 31, then 30. And, Does it make you say POW? It does. You actually have to say POW. All right, y'all. You guys are the best. Love y'all. Peace.